Good afternoon, Celine. I hope you had an amazing day, and welcome back to Hornet Nation. I'm Jay Means.
And I'm Nick Rouman. This week, we cover our school's MVPs off the court, shine a spotlight on one of our youngest varsity athletes, and take a deep dive into another edition of Coach's Corner.
All this and more on this episode of Hornet Nation.
About a month ago, Buffalo Bills safety DeMar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest on the field in Cincinnati. Luckily, DeMar is doing better now and is on his way to a full recovery.
This event has reminded all of us the importance of our athletic medical staffs. So Ming Kork takes us inside our training room to give us more information on what our trainers do.
Behind every sports team, there's a staff of athletic trainers ready to assist the team. I talked to one of our athletic trainers here at Celine to share what some of the duties of an athletic trainer are. Here's Mr. Tullett, or
just Mickey. I prefer everybody to call me Mickey.
As to say.
So some of the duties are, we take care of rehabilitating injuries. We take emergency care for anybody who gets hurt during practice or game. And then there's a lot of administrative stuff that we do, whether it's ordering supplies or setting up doctor's appointments for our athletes.
When emergencies arise on the field, court, or rink, the athletics training staff is there to help. Here's a story where the athletic trainers took to the ice.
One of my hockey players, when I worked with Conqueror Junior A Tier 2, got checked from behind into the boards. And as he was going into the boards, his helmet fell off and he hit his forehead on where the boards meet the glass, and it split his head from down the forehead all the way across to his temple. And so when I got out there, obviously I just put a towel on it right away, and he was pretty clear and coherent, so we got him off into the training room. He wound up getting 130 stitches in his forehead.
The athletic trainers here at Celine will certainly keep our athletes in tip-top shape. And remember to thank them for all the hard work they do. Reporting for Hornet Nation, I'm Ming Kork.
Thanks, Ming. On behalf of all of Hornet Nation and our school's athletes, we thank our trainers for all of their hard work. You can see Mickey and Allison on the sideline at all of our athletic contests. 3 weeks ago, the boys varsity basketball team won their nail-biting matchup against Chelsea High School with a final score of 62-60. Most notably, 39 of those points were scored by Jonathan Sanderson.
And while this is an impressive feat on its own, what is more impressive is that Jonathan is only a freshman. Carson Stavros sat down with him to get to know our rising star a little better.
It's not every day an athlete makes the varsity team on their first go-around, and it's even less often that they lead the team in points. However, freshman basketball player Jonathan Sanderson is doing just that.
I started playing, upward basketball around like 4 or 5 years old. And what inspired me is my mom played D1 basketball, my dad played D1 basketball, and I have to play basketball. It's in my blood.
The jump from middle school to high school is very challenging and typically takes players a year or two to adapt. Not only has Sanderson adjusted to the higher level of play, he has been able to excel in it.
The adjustment was I had to get bigger. The physicality is just going against middle schoolers. They're a lot smaller than the high schoolers, and especially varsity high schoolers. They're a lot bigger, so I had to adjust physicality and I had to get stronger and bigger, and that's what I did.
While it is always important to push yourself to be the best individual player you can be, it is equally important that you work together as a team.
It's a team sport. You have to go with the team, and that's how you win, is with your team. We all have the same goal, and it's to make a run in the playoffs, to win districts, and go on a run and, do some damage in the playoffs.
Lastly, Sanderson leaves off with some important advice for players who may be currently struggling or making that adjustment to the varsity level.
You're never too small. You can always get better no matter how good you are. Just keep on working and doing whatever you can to win.
Sanderson has played very well this season, evident from his success as a freshman. We look forward to seeing how he improves throughout his basketball career. Signing off, I'm Carson Stavros. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for all the info, Carson. We know Jonathan will continue to wow us with his skills on the court. You can catch him and the rest of our boys varsity basketball players tonight at their home game versus Skyline at 7 p.m.
Before we wrap things up, Chris Blankenbaker gives us some insight on the head coach of the swim and dive team with this week's edition of Coach's Corner.
On this episode of Coach's Corner, Coach Brunty joins us poolside to talk about swim and dive.
Well, in terms of what we do here, Swimming and Dive is a varsity competitive program where we compete in a 25-yard short course pool, a series of 8 events that include swimming events, both individual and relay events, and then diving is a 1-meter diving where they perform either 6 or 11 dives in a competitive thing under the MHSAA high school swimming and diving.
And when did you start coaching swim and dive?
My first year of coaching swimming and diving would have been the summer of 1987. So it's been 35 years ago, give or take a few.
What got you into coaching swim and dive?
Well, I was a high school swimmer, track and cross country, and then I went on to compete in Division I swimming and diving in college. And from there, I got a degree in exercise science and physiology, and then I started coaching at that time, and then I went over and got my teaching degree. And so coaching was kind of a natural thing for me to do while I was becoming an educator. And then when I became an educator, got my teaching job, I continued to do it as part of my career. Well, they changed a lot. So there's been a lot of good memories here coaching this program. Some of the best have been recently when my own kids have been on the team, but overall, I'd have to say there were some years where we won 4 state titles with the boys program back from 2010 to 2013. And those 4 years, including the 4th year where we won the 4th straight title in a row, was probably one of the more memorable seasons I've had. Usually it's like the most recent season I'm in tends to be the best at that time because there's been so many. Try and find what's really good and unique about each season. So each season has its best memories or best things that happen. There's so many of them, it's kind of hard to keep track of.
Reporting for Hornet Nation, I'm Chris Blankenbaker. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. If you would like to see Coach Brunty and the swim and dive team in action, their next home meet is Thursday, February 9th at 6 p.m.
That's all for this show. Tune in next week for our newest edition of Game of the Week, a feature in our school's new basketball pep band, and a behind-the-scenes look at the Saline signing day ceremony.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest show updates at Nation Hornet. Subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram at Saline Video. I'm Nick Rouman.
And I'm Jay Means. Thanks for watching and have a great day, Hornets.